Introduction to transforming the ninja realm starting from Kiba. Mysterious Radiance bestows an unknown ability every year. As a cheater, 16-year-old Uchiha Xingyu believes he can no longer be low-key. Let's first become Hokage, starting with transforming Konoha and making the entire ninja world your own large-scale infrastructure game. Be the clan leader, rescue the whirlpool, harvest the sun, be the fire shadow, and level the realm of tolerance. After Xingyu completed the transformation of the ninja realm, he sat at the barrel of the Star Destroyer cannon, lonely as snow, gazing up at the starry sky. "The Guan Mu, where the hell are you? Come on, my. Here are some good fruits for you to eat." 1. Some settings, the author believes they must be read. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Firstly, the timeline of the story takes place in the 29th year of the Kiba era, which is the time when the Second Ninja War broke out among various chronicles compiled online. Secondly, regarding the age of the characters, the three ninjas such as Tsunade are 19 years old. The father of the pig deer butterfly, also known as the 12 little strong pigs of the wood leaf, was born on the day of High in the mountains. He is a Nara deer, born in the constellation of Autumn Dao Ding, at the age of 7. Hinata, 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 Hinata. Yuji Bo Fuyue, 14 years old. Wufeng Shuimen, Mei Qin, mother of Sasuke and Itachi, Qianshou Xingshu, 9-year-old. The ancestors of the Hokage main characters are mostly students who have not graduated from Ninja Academy, and most of the plot is almost equivalent to original. Then, regarding the fact that the Uchiha clan had 2 pairs of kaleidoscope riding wheel eyes during this time period. In 558 episodes of the original Hokage anime, TV created for original Uchiha people to explain Izanagi in Izanami. Uchiha Baru. Yuji Bole. Yuji Bonaka. Yuji Bujili. The result was that Uchiha developed Ayanami to counter Ayanaki and brainwashed Uchiha Bonaka. As for Uchiha Baru and Uchiha Rai, these two did not wear wooden leaf protectors, suggesting that it may be from an era before the establishment of wooden leaves. However, it is not important. In this book, Uchiha Baru, Uchiha Rai, Uchiha Naka, and Uchiha Yiri are said to be people of the same era. After Uchiha's departure, he awakened the kaleidoscope Sharingan, and 3 men fought against each other for family power. Yuji Bonaka killed the other 2 and almost succeeded. He was subdued by Yuji Bonari with Ayanami and brainwashed, becoming a loyal dog of the Yuji Bonaka clan. Next is about the Vortex clan. I have searched for a lot of information and have been vague about its extinction. The most authoritative explanation is that the Vortex clan was jointly destroyed by multiple forces. On the side of Mai, no measures have been taken towards the extinction of the Vortex clan. But the surviving members of the Vortex clan would rather hide their identity and flee to the ninja realm than choose to join Konoha or seek her help. From this, it can be seen that Kiba's inaction has deeply hurt the hearts of the Vortex clan, and even Kiba may have played an ignoble role. It should not be possible, after all, at this time, Mito is still alive. For example, Changmen's mother, Vortex Fusang, went into exile in Rain Country and was even killed by the Konoha ninjas. For example, Xiangli's mother went into exile in the Land of Grass and became a magical tool for replenishing demons in Shaoran village. They should hate Konoha, at least they will complain. After all, Konoha has an elder from Mito, a vortex, and they all refuse to come into contact with Konoha. Then, there was the Hinata clan, and Kishimoto's initial setting was that the Hinata clan could only have 1 person, while the rest were divided. Later on, it seemed that this setting was overturned, and there were other members of the Zong family. In the setting of this book, there are not many members of the Hinata clan, but there are also a few. The cage bird is a secret technique used by the sect to control the separation of families. If the sect is attacked with a cage bird, even if they know how to activate it, they are no longer qualified to use it. Then, about the Antler family. It is my own original creation. According to Japanese history, daimyo is equivalent to the emperor. The emperor usually has no real power, but is just a noble mascot. So I created an original family of powerful individuals who hold real power in the country, with the aim of making the protagonist's identity more reasonable, with a small deduction of details. Then, a thousand-handed clan. There are various opinions about the decline of the thousand-handed clan, with some saying that the civilians who disbanded and became Kiba completely integrated into Kiba. It is said that in every war, a thousand-armed tribe rushes to the front line, resulting in heavy casualties. I personally prefer the latter, but I have chosen to take everything. During the Qianshou Zhujian period, it was advocated to remove surnames and integrate Qianshou into Mai, but it was a glorious surname that lasted for thousands of years. How could you just go and become an anonymous person without a surname? So only a portion of people listened to the words of the thousand-handed pillar and became common people in Kiba. Another part, the First Ninja War, was a joint attack by the 4 major ninja villages on Kiba. Although there were also conflicts between them, their common main goal was still Kiba. The thousand-armed clan suffered heavy casualties during the War of Annihilation, with many powerful clans dying in battle or dying due to severe injuries after the war. Reading www.uyukangshu.net. Therefore, in the timeline of the protagonist's appearance, the thousand-handed clan has been forced to become a destitute household, and a large number of this clan have turned into common people and died in battle, with few people left. As for the marriage between Qianshou and the daimyo of the Fire Kingdom, this book is set as a mutual marriage. Daimyo married a daughter of the Chisho tribe, and the son of Chisho Masamune and Mito married a princess of the Fire Kingdom. This can also explain why Tsunade is known as a princess. Then, regarding the matter of the monkey flying sun's swift downfall. The explanation I gave is that during the First Ninja War, due to the Yunin village coup, Qianshou Kaima died unexpectedly, leaving only a verbal message. So the appearance of the monkey flying sun on stage was not entirely rational, even if it was Yukibo Mirror becoming Hokage at that time, it was more reasonable. The monkey flying sun in the manga, who has been sitting in Hokage for nearly 50 years, has gone through 2 major battles in the ninja world. It can be said that he led Kiba to victory and later abdicated and rose to power, which is not an exaggeration. At this time, the monkey flying sun slaying in the book, although he had been playing Hokage for over a decade and had a certain level of prestige, not everyone was convinced. Not long after the end of the Warring States period, there were still many Warring States elders among the major ninja clans of Konoha, and they were definitely indifferent to the younger generation, the monkey flying sun slayer. The 2 sides are currently in a period of fighting against the East Wind and the West Wind, and it is estimated that the root of Tuanzang was formed for this reason. The remaining power of 1,000 hands is still present, and it is entirely possible for Gangshou to lift the table. As for whether it is reasonable for Tsunade to lift the table, in the original manga, Tsunade was extremely disappointed with Kiba and would rather wander around than stay in the village. Do you think it is reasonable? For now, I'll just go into these details. This is also my first time writing a book, and I apologize for any shortcomings. Love you all. Chapter 1. 16 years old, Upper Ninja, 1 revision. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In summary, on the battlefield, the main purpose of the ninja team is to kill enemies, and joining the team with low combat power medical ninjas will only increase the mortality rate of the ninjas. Gangshou, although your reform plan has its merits, it may be too naive. Not every medical ninja has the same strong strength as you. Perhaps there is a possibility of implementation in the future, but the current tense situation in the ninja world and the situation that Kiba will face is that the structure of the ninja team cannot be easily changed. So Gangshou, the senior management unanimously decided that your proposed reform plan has been put on hold for the time being as Zhuan Lai Xiaochun, who was sitting on the right side of the head of the monkey flying sun presented the results. Dungate's face was not very good looking, and anger flickered faintly in his bright brown pupils. But she also knew that if Xiaochun openly rejected her proposal at the ninja meeting, there was no possibility of turning it around. At least not yet. So Gangzhou didn't argue, just responded coldly with a, "I know," and then pursed his lips without saying a word. The atmosphere of the meeting suddenly became a bit low. After all, Tsunado's proposal to cultivate and add a medical ninja to the ninja trio team can significantly increase the likelihood of survival on the battlefield was supported by more than half of the ninjas. However, this proposal was rejected by the senior management of Kiba, led by Koharu Yoshikawa, for a legitimate reason that everyone could understand. But in the position of Gangzhou, proposing a reform plan at the Konoha conference has ample room for further discussion. Isn't such a straightforward rejection a bit excessive? I really don't want to relinquish any power. This phenomenon makes some sensitive people look at the fire and notice something is wrong. A light smile shattered the calm in the conference room, and everyone instinctively turned their heads to look. In the middle of the conference round table, in the front row, there was a delicate-looking boy holding his chin with one hand and lightly tapping the table with the other hand. His fingers were long and fair, with distinct roots. The boy was wearing a loose black robe with golden patterns on the cuffs and collar, and was smiling as he looked at the high-ranking officials at the top of the conference table. I actually think Gangzhou's proposal is great and valuable. The consultant rejected it too quickly and should consider it again. The young man's tone was extremely indifferent, despite the widespread attention. As soon as these words were spoken, the expressions of everyone in the conference room instantly became colorful. Tsunade's plan was rejected by the senior management of Kiba for legitimate reasons, and everyone could barely accept it. After all, the ninja team structure reform proposed by Tsunade is a new thing, and no matter how well the content and prospects are described, no one has been exposed to it. Everyone is a ninja, carrying out dangerous tasks. The composition of the team is equivalent to the safety of one's life, and no one would joke about their own lives. As for Tsunade, he used his own team as an example, but everyone treated it as a special case, and medical ninjas like Tsunade hardly exist. Agreeing with Gangzhou's plan and agreeing to Gangzhou's reform are two different things, so although we do not fully understand the decision of the senior management of Kiba, we will not oppose it. Do you want to give face? However, the young man openly raised objections to the senior management of Kiba. Apart from being shocked that the young man did not give face to the senior management of Kiba, more people were, Uchiha Xingyu, I don't think this matter needs too much consideration, said Xiaochun with a cold face as she glared at the young man in an unfriendly tone. If you think it's good, you can implement it to the Uchiha clan, and the senior management of Kiba will also support you. Okay. Uchiha Xingyu's tone remained calm, blinking and taking the opportunity to say, since the consultant has said so, why not use it for our Uchiha family? After all, it's a pity that such a good policy has been decisively rejected. Are you right? Just endure it. On Gangzhou speaking, Uchiha Xingyu's gaze turned to Gangzhou. Like everyone else, Gangzhou was also confused. Although she knew in her heart before the meeting that although her proposal was privately supported by the upper ninjas, the possibility of passing the reform involving the combat power of Kiba was extremely slim. But she never expected that a young Uchiha would publicly support her at the meeting. Uchiha supports Qinsho, how could he have such a dream? As the princess of the Thousand-Hand clan, the granddaughter of 2 Hokage titles, and the current lover of Hokage, Tsunade has always adhered to the principle of only understanding and not touching the Uchiha clan. She knew about Uchiha Xingyu, but she only knew about it. She had never had any contact with him or even performed any missions together. Uchiha Xingyu is a unique member of the Uchiha tribe and also a brilliant genius. This young Uchiha from Daimyo Prefecture joined Kiba at the age of 5, graduated at the age of 7 and became a junior ninja. The following year, he was promoted to junior ninja. At the age of 10, he was promoted to special senior ninja by Hokage, and at the age of 12, he was once again promoted to senior ninja. A dazzling resume is simply dazzling. Only 3 years younger than Gangsho, Uchiha Xingyu, who is now 16 years old, can now rank in the front row of the Kiba conference and has the qualification and power to express political opinions on behalf of the Uchiha clan. Faced with the dazzling Uchiha star feather, even Gangsho felt inferior. Just as Gangsho had regained his senses and was preparing to respond to Uchiha Xingyu with vocabulary in his mind, a mournful voice came from the round table of the meeting. Uchiha Xingyu, this is the Konoha conference, not Uchiha's clan association. Don't say anything unrelated. Just as Gangsho was about to speak, he suddenly choked and looked up at Jitsuan Tuanzang, who had just spoken, with a speechless expression flashing in his eyes. Okay, for Tuanzang old dog, Uchiha is just a piece of fat. It's not surprising that he doesn't speak up. Not relevant. Uchiha Xingyu looked at Jitsuan Tuanzang, who was in his prime, with his eyes intact and his right arm still alive. His tone was no longer as indifferent as before, and he said coldly. Assistant Tuanzang, interrupting casually is a very impolite behavior. Also, how can you determine that what I say is irrelevant to the meeting? I, the Uchiha clan, are the backbone of Konoha. I have discovered excellent policies that are beneficial to Konoha and should support them, even setting an example to make Konoha better. If the reform proposal proposed by Gangsho Shangren is not approved at the Shangren meeting, it will be piloted and implemented by the Uchiha clan first. If the effect is excellent, it can then be further promoted to the entire Kiba. Assistant Sir, this is clearly a good thing that is conducive to the development of Konoha. How come it turns into me causing trouble in your mouth? Who is causing trouble for no reason? Subsequently, Uchiha Xingyu looked at the silent monkey flying sun / and continued, Lord Hokage, I now question the correctness of Jitsuan Tuanzang's ability to serve as the Hokage assistant in the name of the Uchiha clan. This person has too much selfishness and extends personal grievances to important occasions without reason, which is really a violation of the principles of fairness and justice that a high-ranking executive like Kiba should have a sharp confrontation, without showing weakness. It's serious, it's serious. The assistant of the team is still very diligent. Ape Flying Sun glanced at his old teammate, whose face was dark and about to explode, and unexpectedly felt a sense of satisfaction in his heart, but on the surface, he smiled and remained calm. Then Monkey Flying Sun / continued, Xingyu, regarding your decision to implement the reform proposal of Gangsho in the Uchiha clan, which is beneficial to Kiba, I personally support it. However, Uchiha is an important pillar of Kiba, and if anything goes wrong, it should be stopped in a timely manner. I see. Thank you, Lord Huiying. Uchiha Xingyu was respectful on the surface, but secretly roast that the old monkey could do superficial kung fu. Monkey Flying Sun nodded and knocked on the table, saying to the crowd, so, that's all for the end of this Konoha conference. The border conflict is becoming increasingly fierce now, and everyone should be prepared to deal with war at any time. Yes, Lord Huiying. Break up. After returning to the clan territory, notify all members of the clan to open the clan meeting tonight. Yes. Remember to inform them of the content of this clan meeting, mainly mentioning the cultivation of medical ninjas. I will make the complete plan public at the clan meeting. Yes. By the way, have someone count the eligible young members of the current tribe, and you will make a table for me at night. Yes. After leaving the Huiying building, Uchiha Xingyu walked and gently turned his head, issuing orders to the clan members who were half of his position behind him. Uchiha Xingyu. A crisp shout came from behind, and Uchiha Xingyu stopped and turned to look. He saw Gangsho running towards him, followed by Orochimaru and Zelaya. The two of them walked slowly and had a relaxed expression. When Gangsho stopped 2 meters in front of him, Uchiha Xingyu smiled and asked, Gangsho is enduring. What advice do you have? Gangsho suddenly choked and his expression was bewildered. Is there something wrong with your question? Please, it's because you're going to implement the policy I proposed. Why are you in such a hurry after the meeting? Shouldn't you come and ask me for advice? After pausing for 2 seconds, Gunga-te took a deep breath and said sincerely, "Thank you for your support at the meeting just now. Yes, your proposal is very good and forward. Looking for the current situation of Kiba." Uchiha Xingyu smiled gently as he looked at the young girl Gangsho, who had just begun to take shape. It was only after hearing Gangsho's proposal at the meeting that he recalled the insignificant details from the forgotten memories of his past life deep in his heart. The current Konoha ninja squad is pursuing combat power that can quickly kill enemies. The composition structure of the future ninja team in Kiba was first proposed by Tsunade today and gradually improved and formed in the following time. But that's all about the future, but since Uchiha Xingyu remembered it, he didn't have the patience to wait for it to become a reality. He could have pushed it forward with one hand. The two stood opposite each other, silent and speechless. Gangsho looked at Uchiha Xingyu with a speechless expression, and finally couldn't help but ask first. "Do you have anything to ask me about the structural reform of the ninja team?" Gangsho felt angry in his heart. What was going on with this person? He was clearly trying to use my policies, but when he saw me, he didn't say a word. Uchiha Xingyu blinked his eyes and gently shook his head, saying, "No, Gangsho Shangren. I have already read the reform intention letter you wrote to Huiying, and the content on it is very comprehensive. Moreover, it is only a trial within the clan and needs to be carried out conservatively. The scale cannot be too large, just follow that letter of intent." Joking, Gangsho Mei is beautiful, but the strange luck in this person, as well as the love-brain constitution of the deceased lover, is a trouble in the eyes of Uchiha Xingyu, and he doesn't want to have any contact with him. I am so handsome. If I were to be taken in by this woman and die unexpectedly before I even have enough strength, then I would be so wronged. Yu reading www.uyukangshu.net. Being directly rejected by Uchiha Xingyu, Gangsho couldn't help but feel angry. Although Uchiha Xingyu's attitude was impeccable, she could still keenly sense the resistance of the person in front of her. Gangsho felt unhappy in her heart. If it weren't for the stranger in front of her who had just publicly supported her painstakingly proposed proposal at the meeting, she would have angrily turned around and left now. If you have any problems with the reform within your clan, be sure to communicate with me in a timely manner. After all, I proposed the reform plan and I will take responsibility. Gunga-te suppressed his displeasure and said politely. Uchiha Xingyu nodded and said, "Definitely, Gangsho Shangren. Goodbye then." After speaking, he beckoned the tribe members to turn around and leave. Gangsho frowned as he stared at the figure of Uchiha Xingyu leaving, and asked the person beside him, "It feels like he doesn't want to come into contact with me. Am I annoying?" Zilai also chuckled generously and said, "Ha ha ha, Gangsho, have you finally realized this?" Orochimaru calmly analyzed, "After all, he is Uchiha, and you are Chiensho. It's normal for him not to want to come into contact with you." Gangsho maintained his fist-swinging motion, while in the background, Jiraiya screamed and spun into the sky. He looked at Orochimaru and nodded, saying, "You're right, but Uchiha Xingyu publicly expressed support for my reform proposal at today's meeting. Based on this alone, I still want to thank him. Moreover, this proposal was the result of my painstaking efforts, and I really want to know if it can ultimately be realized." The paralyzed Orochimaru said indifferently, "Since that's the case, why don't you visit the Uchiha clan more often? With your identity, no one dares to say anything." Gangsho did not answer, but remained silent as he watched the direction of Uchiha Xingyu's departure. Chapter 2. Background, First Revision. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The land of the Uchiha tribe. Xingyu Jun, you're back. Lord Xingyu, thank you for your hard work. Uchiha Xingyu walked along the path of his tribe, occasionally receiving respectful greetings from idle members. Uchiha Xingyu responded with a gentle smile on his face. The people of Uchiha's clan respect him so much as a 16-year-old boy. Apart from growing at a speed several times faster than an ordinary genius and possessing strong strength, the most important thing is wealth. Yes, money. Uchiha Xingyu's well-known identity on the surface is from the daimyo prefecture, the legitimate second son of the dear Antlers family, the finance minister of the Fire Kingdom. At the beginning of the establishment of Muye, in order to strengthen the connection between the country and the village, and to facilitate the smooth implementation of the one country, one village policy, the first Hokage thousand-handed pillars arranged for the clan members to marry the royal family of the Hokage kingdom. The Uchiha clan, as another founding member of the Kiba clan, followed closely by the marriage alliance between the clan members and the powerful officials of the Fire Kingdom. Of course, the members of the intermarriage chosen by the Qianshou and Uchiha clans, although both are ninjas to show sincerity, their strength is not high and they barely meet the level of endurance. Uchiha Xingyu, who once served as the second-generation ancestor of the powerful in the Daming Mansion, woke up at the age of 5 due to the loss of his mother and awakened the blood inheritance boundary Sharingan, alerting elder Uchiha who went to attend the funeral. He was then brought back to Kiba and given the surname of Uchiha. Although Xingyu is located in Konoha, his connection with the powerful Fire Kingdom and the Antlers family has never been cut off, and he has a continuous source of financial support. After Xingyu was promoted to Konoha Ujina in the 12th year, he began to gradually gain access to the power of the Uchiha family with the support of elders. Since the first year, Xingyu has led the establishment of 3 public large-scale training grounds. Clan members below Zhongren can use the training grounds for free and can apply for training equipment for free, such as weight-bearing vests. At the end of last year, Xingyu made a bold announcement at the clan meeting to establish a comprehensive welfare mechanism for the clan members, including childcare funds, student aid, pension, and pension. The annual fixed expenditure reached 1 billion taels, which is equivalent to the fiscal funds distributed by the Fire Kingdom daimyo to Kiba for 1 year. After experiencing the suppression of the second-generation Hokage, the indifference and rejection of the third-generation Hokage, and the incessant internal strife within the clan as Uchiha leaves, the Uchiha clan has experienced an unprecedented rapid growth. With the blessing of strength and wealth, Uchiha Xingyu has gained the support of over 80% of the Uchiha tribe, becoming the de facto clan leader, only one public announcement away from becoming the clan leader. Coincidentally, taking advantage of the ninja team reform proposed by Tsunade at the Kiba conference, Uchiha Shoyu decided to officially become the clan leader starting today. Uchiha Xingyu, who was in a happy mood, returned to his small courtyard of only 600 square meters. A young man opened the door for him and respectfully said, "Welcome back, Lord Xingyu." Uchiha Xingyu smiled and said, "It's Qingxue, it's hard work." Deer Horn Qingxue, the illegitimate son of the Deer Horn clan of the powerful family in the Fire Kingdom, was of the same age as Uchiha Star Feather and accompanied him to Muye with the task of serving. Her appearance may seem like a teenage outfit, with short hair and a long robe, and a short sword at the waist, but in reality, she is a heroic girl. Of course, this is a secret that is unknown to outsiders, and besides that, the biggest secret about Dear Antler Qingxue's body is not even known to her. She is actually the Antlers Star Feather, not the fake male born to the stagehead's concubine, who exists as a disguise of Uchiha Star Feather's identity. And the true identity of Uchiha involves an undisclosed secret in the village of Kiba. 17 years ago, in the 13th year of the Kiba era, at the end of the First Ninja War, the second Hokage died in battle, the third Hokage succeeded, and Kiba's power was replaced. A genius member of the Uchiha clan and the daughter of the Hinata clan's ancestral family developed feelings due to their battlefield experiences, but the combination of the two cannot be recognized by both families. To be more precise, it is impossible to gain the recognition of the Hinata clan, as they cannot allow the daughters of the clan to marry off. Similarly, the Uchiha clan does not allow their own geniuses to enter Hinata. At the moment of the stalemate after being discovered in a romantic relationship, Hinata Muye was horrified to discover that she was pregnant. As a result, Hinata Muye, who was afraid of the corrupt rules of the family, even more extreme than Uchiha, proposed to elope. Young men and women, using the excuse of going out for tasks, left Kiba and gathered outside, heading north in an attempt to stay away from the family's troubles. Ideals are full, but reality is cruel. Their actions not only betrayed their own family, but also amounted to betraying the village, ultimately being pursued by three forces simultaneously. The genius of Uchiha, who was on the brink of death, witnessed the Hinata tribe digging out the blind eyes of their unconscious lover and attempting to end their life. Don't die, live on, go to a place where there is no one to disturb you. Under the extreme stimulation of anger, sorrow, and sadness, the eyes awaken to the kaleidoscope of writing will eyes. Uchiha Yuhuan. People on the brink of death or shortly after death can repair and manipulate their bodies and souls, briefly modifying their memories, and willpower. Left eye repair manipulates the body, while right eye rewrites memory and will. The pupil of spiritual reflection transforms the obsession of Uchiha's genius into a pupil technique, relying on the burst of Susanoo to solve crises. On his deathbed, Uchiha's genius used pupil surgery to restore the body of his lover, while also restoring and maintaining the physical function of a dying dark ninja in a severely injured state, modifying his memory. Let the dark ninjas bring back their lovers' white eyes, death, and news to Kiba to achieve a confusing effect. Of course, shortly after returning to Kiba, this dark ninja suddenly died due to the disappearance of the effect of his pupillary technique. Finally, Uchiha used his last bit of strength and had his shadow clone transplant his own eyes to his lover before he finally choked and died. The daughter of the Hinata clan suffered a loss of her lover, but had to pick herself up for the sake of the child in her womb. After restraining her body, she brought her lover's eyes to the daimyo mansion in the Fire Kingdom. After careful consideration, she chose to disguise her child's identity as the Deer Antler family. The daughter of the Hinata sect first used the illusion technique of writing will eyes to hypnotize the head of the Antlers family, as well as the Uchiha clan daughter who was married out and pregnant. Subsequently, the daughter of the Hinata clan gave birth to Uchiha Star Feather, and when the Uchiha clan daughter gave birth, she would replace her with her own child. And this replaced child, Yu reading www.uyukangshu.net, became the illegitimate son born the next day to a concubine of the owner of the Antler family, that is, the Antler Xingyu. That unknown concubine, who drank strong medicine while working as a geisha, died twice during childbirth. After being born, Uchiha Xingyu was shocked to learn about her winding and mysterious background, and witnessed firsthand the current mother, the Hinata Munchige, who suffered serious injuries due to resisting the pursuit of Kiba. After giving birth, her body gradually declined. At the age of 4 in Uchiha, Hinata no longer could hold on. She recounted the causes and consequences for Hinata and handed her lover's kaleidoscope Sharingan to Hinata, while she forever closed her eyes and her soul went to the pure land of bliss. The following year, while the elders of the Uchiha clan came to the Daming mansion to mourn the death of the intermarriage girl, Uchiha Xingyu carefully designed a scene to unexpectedly awaken the blood inheritance limit, and then successfully joined Kiba. Xingyu decided to go to Kiba for two more important purposes besides Kiba being the center of all future disputes in the Hokage world. Firstly, his mother's eyes were white, and he could not tolerate the eyes of his beloved loved ones being placed in the cold chamber of secrecy. Secondly, Muye is the center of this world, the origin of all future disputes, and he comes to seize the opportunity. Starfeather, who possesses a divine perspective, is not foolish enough to wait quietly for the scheduled event to occur, waiting for the so-called Son of Prophecy to save the world. Everyone has come, there must be something to do. Then transform this world into your own backyard. Step by step, starting from the leaves of wood. He cannot waste this opportunity to live a lifetime, let alone the perspective of God who knows the future. And the powerful golden fingers after rebirth. An incredibly mysterious unknown radiance. Chapter 3. Mysterious Radiance. You are listening at novel full.audio. Xingyu sat alone in the quiet room, with a fist-sized blue light floating in front of him, shining like starlight. This is the golden finger that Xingyu, as a time traveler, must have. He calls it the mysterious random light. As the name suggests, mystery is due to the unknown origin. Since Xingyu left her mother's womb, she opened her eyes and saw the existence of this light, and only Xingyu could see it. And randomness is because this mysterious radiance bestows upon him a random ability every year on his birthday. Like opening a blind box, the effectiveness and upper limit of the ability are unknown. Up to now, Xingyu is 16 years old and has also received 16 gifts from the mysterious radiance, including abilities and items. At the age of 1, one obtains a resilient physique, which is equivalent to a weakened version of the immortal human body, with stronger recovery and physical strength than ordinary people. At the age of 2, he obtained the Weapon Master, which is a passive talent type that allows Xingyu to quickly learn various weapon techniques. At the age of 3, obtain Flash, which can teleport to any position within a radius of 10 meters using oneself as the starting point. It is equivalent to the Flying Thunder God technique with distance limitations, and the advantages are that it does not require any medium or consumption. At that time, she was still the star feather of Xiaodouting, full of ambition and passion, thinking of an extraordinary ability in the next year. She kicked the old age spots, pinched the black Jew, and ruled the world of ninja just around the corner. However, in the following years, the mysterious radiance bestowed upon Star Feather's abilities became increasingly bizarre. At the age of 4, Xingyu received a box of huazi, which was 65 soft sister coins per box of cigarettes. This was also the first time Xingyu knew that in addition to abilities, the mysterious radiance would also bestow items. At the age of 5, obtain a pair of underwear that will never be damaged and automatically adapt. At the age of 6, obtaining the Meow Whisperer allows cats to understand the meaning they want to convey through their calls. At the age of 7, you will receive a strange blind box, and upon opening it, you will immediately receive an unknown item. However, Xingyu was filled with disappointment at the time and had no interest in opening it. He directly sealed it in the storage scroll. For 4 years in a row, Xingyu became increasingly speechless and began to feel a psychological shadow over her birthday. At the age of 8, Xingyu gained flawless skin that increased her appearance. Just when Xingyu thought his art style was going to completely tilt, and from then on until now, the mysterious light has never bestowed upon him any indescribable abilities. At the age of 9, he acquired the Thunder Attribute talent. At the age of 10, he obtained the Kaleidoscope Sharingan pupil technique, also known as Other Heavenly Gods, which was only performed once. At the age of 11, he gained the ability to overload his body to instantly unleash his potential, which lasted for 5 seconds, 10 times his own strength. Of course, he may fall into a state of weakness for a period of time afterwards. At the age of 12, he gained the ability to quickly recover his own energy through meditation, and the speed of recovery is related to the state of his body. At the age of 13, he obtained a natural ability called Earth Attribute. At the age of 14, he acquired the innate ability of Wind Attribute. At the age of 15, he acquired the ability, Brahma Mantra, an auxiliary skill that condenses chakras into magical spell seals. Releasing the spell seal can double the effectiveness of ninjutsu, and the number of Brahma spell seals that can be stored is the same as the age of Star Feather. At the age of 16, he obtained the Revival Spirit Wind, a group healing skill that releases a range of healing warm winds, which can restore the physical strength and injuries of allies. The recovery effect is related to the amount of chakra released by the Star Feather. The mysterious radiance bestows 16 abilities on Star Feather, ranging from the extremely high limit of Ultimate Overload to the extremely low limit of Flawless Skin with almost no combat power. It is worth mentioning that the Thunder Attribute, Earth Attribute, and Wind Attribute belong to innate abilities, allowing Star Feather to reach the top of all talents related to these 3 attributes, from affinity to comprehension learning ability. Compared to Star Feather's generation, the body's innate fire attribute chakra talent has even more powerful effects. Specifically, when learning the fire dungeon ninjutsu, Xingyu also needs to think and try several times, and only after gaining proficiency will his power increase from small to large. And the mysterious Radiance bestows the 3 talents of thunder, wind, and earth, allowing Star Feather to learn ninjutsu with these 3 attributes. At a glance, they can be used directly, and their power can be displayed at normal levels, even exceeding normal levels. So overall, Xingyu is still very satisfied. After all, it is a cheat, and the mysterious Radiance has 1 ability per year. He is only 16 years old now, and the future is promising. In just 2 months, it will be her birthday again. Xingyu holds a mysterious light with one hand and silently prays in her heart, never giving a useless ability. Master Xingyu, it's time to set off for the clan meeting. I understand. The sound of deer antlers and clear snow echoed outside the door, and Star Feather responded by releasing a mysterious light into his body. He then stood up and opened the wooden door of the quiet room, greeting Clear Snow standing beside him, saying, "Let's go, Qingxue." Yes. Nanha Shrine is an ancestral temple for the Uchiha clan to worship their ancestors. It is usually used to open clan meetings and announce important events to the people. At this point, a large number of Uchiha people had gathered in the spacious courtyard, all dressed in vastly different outfits, wearing black high-necked hoodies with the Uchiha emblem on the back. The people of the Uchiha tribe gathered together in groups of 2, 3, and 3, whispering to each other, discussing the theme of this clan meeting, which was the structural reform of the ninja team notified by the Xingyu Mingren. While the tribe was discussing the lively atmosphere, a sudden shout came from the entrance of the shrine, "Lord Xingyu is here." The atmosphere remained calm, and everyone turned their gaze to the entrance of the shrine, gazing at Uchiha Xingyu and Kagoshima Kiyoshi who entered from afar. They dispersed to both sides, making way for a path. Uchiha Xingyu walked into the gate of the shrine and met a group of people who were staring at him with fanatical eyes. The corners of his mouth couldn't help but rise, and he chuckled and greeted, "Everyone, your safety. Xingyu Jun, Guan. Master Xingyu, good evening. You have finally arrived, Lord Xingyu. We are all waiting for you." The people of the Uchiha tribe showed no inhumane aloofness and responded with full enthusiasm to Uchiha Xingyu. A fixed welfare fund of 1 billion taels per year has brought unprecedented shock to the Azibo people. At a short distance of just over 10 meters, Uchiha Xingyu walked for almost 10 minutes, during which he kept having simple conversations with his tribe members, accurately calling out the names of each tribe member, and communicating with them in a gentle tone to encourage each other. After communicating with Uchiha Xingyu, the members of the tribe all showed extremely respectful and excited expressions, expressing that they will definitely become stronger and become Xingyu's dog. Ah no, they are indispensable helpers. Inside the shrine, several elderly people stood on the steps of the temple, staring at Uchiha Xingyu with different expressions. Uchiha Xingyu stopped and greeted several elderly people, saying, "Elder Jili, Elder Naka, and all the elders in a moment. I apologize for being late. It's not too late." Standing in the middle, Uchiha looked at Xingyu with a smile and said in a friendly tone, "It's because our old friends came too early. There's still some time before the clan meeting starts." Uchiha was the person who brought Xingyu from Daming Mansion to Mai, almost 50 years old, but still able to see the charm of his youth. She opened her only eye, with some visible wrinkles at the corners of her eyes due to years of fatigue. Her soft purple long hair was now half gray-white. And it was this gentle and amiable old and young woman who, with her own efforts, suppressed the long-standing internal strife of the Uchiha clan several years ago. During her reign in the Uchiha clan, the position of Uchiha clan leader remained vacant, probably due to the fact that no members of her tribe could enter her eyes. It was not until the emergence of Uchiha Xingyu, who rose to power in Kiba with an incredibly dazzling genius posture, with a far greater aura and wrist than ordinary people, that she was pleasantly surprised to see the hope of the family in fully supported Xingyu's reform within the clan. As for standing next to Uchiha, there was a spirited old man with half black and half white long hair. His name is Uzibonaka. He was once the leader of one of the factions vying for power within the clan. He was almost the winner of the extreme martial arts faction, but was eventually banned by Uzibonari with the forbidden technique of Ayanami, causing him to completely repent and complete his ideological transformation. Like Uchiha Yuri, the two are the strongest fighters of the Uchiha clan, and together they have a pair and a half of kaleidoscope riding wheel eyes. The old man standing behind the two with a gloomy expression was Uchiha Shana. During the reign of the second Hokage, he incited and led his tribe to launch an armed coup, but was suppressed after failing. It was not until many years after the third Hokage came to power that he was released to appease Uchiha. For the strong and rapid rise of Uchiha Star Feather, Uchiha has always expressed resistance, but it is not true. This old ninja, who has been fighting for a lifetime, is a poor person who can only watch helplessly as the hearts of over 80% of his clan members are recruited by Uchiha Xingyu and become powerless and furious. In addition, the other elderly people are also elders within the clan and veteran fighters of the Uchiha clan. Uchiha looked around the courtyard and saw that the tribe had almost arrived. He spoke up and said, "The people have almost arrived, so let's start the clan meeting." Regarding the price of Hokage, I searched for a lot of information and converted it many times when setting it up. The outline was missing, so I recalculated it again. Firstly, the Hokage prices set by Kishimoto are based on the real-life Neon country, after all, little devils. I also followed this train of thought and searched for many comparisons of prices and military expenditures in Neon countries. The unit of fire shadow is liang, 1 liang is equal to 10 yen. Yao Lamian noodles 60 liang equals 600 yen, a bowl of neon Lamian noodles also starts at this price. Yu reads www.uyukangshu.net, there isn't much mention of the economy in the original work. When I was researching, Naruto followed Zilai to find Tsunade and spent 300 taels, which is 3,000 yen, 144 soft coins, playing around a snack street. So the price of Hokage is not much different from modern society. Below is the task fee. S.level task. 1 million taels or more, 10 million yen, 480,000 soft coins, A.level task. 150,000 to 1 million taels, 1.5 million to 10 million yen. 70,000.480000 soft coins, B.level task. 800,000.200000 taels, 800,000.2 million yen. 38,000.95000 soft coins, C.level task. 30,000 to 100,000 taels, 300,000 to 1 million yen. 140,000 to 47,000 soft coins, D.level task. 5,000.50000 taels, 24,000.250000 soft coins, okay, that's probably all. In reality, in recent years, the annual military expenditure of Neon Nation, with a median value of $50 billion, is 7,400 billion yen. If we replace it with the 2 in Huiying, it would be 700 billion taels. Of course, Hokage was a feudal society, and although technology was fascinating, it had both electricity and refrigerators. But ultimately, we cannot exaggerate it by 700 billion yuan. As the only super-military institution in the Fire Country, it is not unreasonable for me to set a military budget of 1 billion taels per year, right? I'm very conservative. If you still think I made a mistake after reading the above explanation, please provide me with the necessary information to correct it. Don't be fooled by that clever little brain at a glance, keep your mouth shut about the depreciation of prices. I am an art student and don't understand this. Please provide me with silly data. Chapter 4. At the age of 16, he is the chieftain of the clan. You are listening at novel full.audio. Cough. Uchiha Xingyu coughed lightly and faced the serious faces of the tribe members, saying, I have had someone inform everyone before, and I believe everyone already knows the content of this clan meeting. That is a proposal I received during today's meeting with Ueno, proposed by Tsunade Ueno, regarding the reform of the composition and structure of the ninja team. Although the senior management of Kiba rejected it, I personally believe that the content of the proposal is very valuable and can be piloted for reform within the clan. Do you have any opinions on this? After Uchiha Xingyu finished speaking, the people of the Uchiha tribe looked at each other in silence. What opinions can you have? If you think it's suitable, let's use it. At this time, the Uchiha clan experienced the dominant leadership style of Uchiha's one-word hall. After Uchiha left, the tribe aimed their sharp blades at their own people, and the power struggle was fierce, causing half of the tribe to lose their lives. Uchiha has ended his internal conflict and finally achieved stability. Therefore, when Uchiha Xingyu demonstrated strong personal strength and began to engage with family power, he invested a continuous stream of funds to establish a relatively complete welfare system for the family. The people of the Uchiha tribe have seen the chieftain who gave money, and they exclaimed that an angel has come to my side to sacrifice their heart for Lord Xingyu. In the eyes of the tribe, Lord Xingyu has all sorts of good qualities, but one thing is that he is too kind and doesn't seem like a powerful Uchiha at all. Lord Xingyu, if you think the reform plan is good, then let's change it. What are we doing? We are just your loyal dog. Lord Xingyu, as long as you think reform will be better, then we will make changes. Everyone will listen to you, and you will definitely not harm us. Uchiha, the 8th generation, loudly shouted out the hearts of most of the clan members. As soon as these words were spoken, most of the tribe members nodded and looked at Uchiha Xingyu with the same expression in their eyes. I am the same. Uchiha Xingyu also felt a bit speechless. The Uchiha clan is all sorts of good, talented, with high limits, and has enough loyalty and love for their people. But one thing is that my thoughts are too paranoid. When I don't believe in you, I see you as an enemy of life and death, and I don't even bring one to face. When I trust you, I treat you as my biological parents and wish I could give my heart to you. Extremely speechless. Then. Xingyu Jun, let me say something. Just as Uchiha Xingyu was about to make a decision, Uchiha beside him suddenly spoke up. Xingyu looked at him sideways with a slightly displeased expression. Old thing, you're going to die. When I asked earlier, you didn't fart and had to wait for me to speak before intentionally interrupting, right? Elder, in an instant, you say, said Uchiha Xingyu with great respect. In an instant, Uchiha asked Xingyu, I have also seen the reform plan you brought. Adding a medical ninja to the team can improve its survival rate and sustained combat effectiveness. If it can succeed, it will naturally be good. But Xingyu Jun, a member of the Uchiha clan, has mostly negative chakra attributes, with very few members possessing positive attributes. Medical ninjutsu belongs to the category of Yangdun, which contradicts the attributes of the clan members. Learning it from now on, not only from young clan members, is also a very difficult task, and can even drag down the growth progress of the clan members at that moment. Uchiha was opposing Xingyu, but the reasons given were also very legitimate and well prepared. The elder's words made a lot of sense in an instant, and that's exactly what I'm going to say next. Starry Feather turned to face the group of clan members and spoke, as Elder Sakia said, there are very few clan members who possess the young attribute chakra, so I did not force everyone to learn medical ninjutsu immediately, as it would only have side effects. The reform is only being piloted within the ethnic group, and it should be implemented conservatively without dragging everyone down. Do not force it. My personal suggestion is that, in addition to members of the police force, members of the clan who frequently perform tasks outside can come into contact with medical ninjas at ninja hospitals. Imagine, everyone, after you have killed the enemy with all your might, you have already suffered serious injuries and lost the ability to continue fighting, while there are still undecided enemies in front of you. At this moment, there is a companion who is proficient in medical ninjutsu by your side. It only takes a moment of effort to recover your injury, allowing you to immediately engage in battle again. This is really a beautiful thing. After hearing the description of Uchiha Xingyu, the tribe members imagined the same scene in their minds and couldn't help but smile proudly, wishing to find a medical ninja to team up now. However, soon Xingyu poured a bucket of cold water. However, the combat power of medical ninjas is notoriously low. If they rashly team up to carry out tasks, it will not only fail to improve, but also become a burden, causing serious consequences. As soon as these words were spoken, everyone frowned and Uchiha, the 8th generation of Uchiha, bluntly asked, "So, Lord Xingyu, do you have a solution?" Xingyu blinked and smiled. "The solution is very simple. Let the medical ninja's strength improve in a short period of time, at least to the extent of cooperating with you in battle." The people of the tribe all showed signs of trouble and wanted to help improve their combat power. Did they find a partner or an apprentice? Observing the expressions of the clan members, Xingyu could only say, "So I want to reiterate that this is just a pilot reform and does not force everyone to search for medical ninjas. In addition, if a member of the clan finds a suitable medical ninja as a companion but is not satisfied with the opponent's combat power, they can apply for support from the clan's training funds. Due to the pilot implementation of the reform, this fund will be incorporated into medical funds, and the first 3 phases of funds will be distributed free of charge to the clan members. If you want to continue applying, it will be issued as an interest-free loan to the clan members. Of course, after applying for funding, the elders within the clan will conduct a detailed review, such as the medical ninja's ninjutsu level, progress in strength, and so on." Xingyu's words successfully made all the members of the clan's eyes shine and their expressions of excitement appear. Since the clan has provided funds, supporting medical ninja partners is not a problem. Sure enough, money can solve 99% of real-life problems. Watching the worshipful expressions of the tribe, Uchiha's jealous eyes turned red in an instant. The despicable young man had tarnished Uchiha's pride with money. "I've finished talking about important things, so now I'll talk about something unimportant." Xingyu turned his head and glanced at Uchiha, then gently clapped his hands to attract the attention of the tribe members and spoke. "The Uchiha clan, as the strongest ninja clan in Konoha, still holds the position of clan leader, which is truly out of line. I, Uchiha Xingyu, would like to recommend myself as the clan leader now. Do you all agree? As soon as these words were spoken, the shrine of Yu reading www.uyukangshu.net suddenly fell silent and terrifying. A group of handsome Uchiha guys stared at Xingyu blinking their eyes, their expressions slightly bewildered. "Wait, did I hear you wrong? Lord Xingyu wants to recommend himself as the clan leader. Isn't he the chieftain? Is this a trivial matter? Alright. I, the 8th generation of Uchiha, was the first to agree that Lord Xingyu would become the clan leader." Dogleg reacted first, waving his fist wildly and shouting. "Yes, I agree. If it's Lord Xingyu, there's absolutely no problem. The Uchiha clan will definitely embark on a brand new glory under the leadership of Xingyu Jun. Long live Lord Xingyu." The ethnic people who have reacted are also unwilling to fall behind, expressing their positions and cheering loudly. In this atmosphere, even if there are a few people who do not agree, they dare not speak out against it rashly, so they can only recognize it by pinching their noses. For example, in the blink of an eye, the old man not only became even redder, but his wrinkled cheeks also turned red, and his whole body turned red and warm. He is unwilling, but he is poor. The cheers lasted for a long time, and after the sound gradually subsided, Uchiha walked up to Xingyu and spoke. "Since it is widely anticipated, I declare in the name of the elder that from now on, Uchiha Xingyu will be the leader of the Uchiha clan." Roar. Amidst the rising cheers once again, Uchiha reached out and patted Xingyu's shoulder, solemnly saying, "Xingyu Jun, Yuzhibo's future is up to you. Don't worry, Elder Zhili, I will definitely give it my all. Uchiha Xingyu replied solemnly, anyway, at the worst, Uchiha will not be allowed to exterminate the clan. Chapter 5. Kiba Police Department. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. As the border conflict in the Fire Country intensifies and the atmosphere in Kiba becomes increasingly tense, the actions of the Uchiha clan, as the first ninja tribe in Kiba, have caught everyone's attention in recent days. Firstly, the leader of the new generation, the most dazzling genius of Kiba, Uchiha Xingyu, became the head of the Uchiha clan. To be honest, many people find this shocking, even unbelievable. No matter how talented Xingyu is, he is only 16 years old. How can a 16-year-old child become a clan leader? But the fact is not subject to the will of others. No matter what attitude others have, Xingyu is already a confirmed clan leader. Secondly, these days, the members of Uchiha's clan have been continuously visiting ninja hospitals, frequently engaging in in-depth communication with ninjas who are proficient in medical ninjutsu. Their attitude has been unprecedentedly friendly, which is unbelievable. With a curious attitude, someone further inquired and found out that it was Xingyu who carried out pilot reforms within the clan. Absurd. I thought Xingyu had said at the Shangren meeting that he would try out the reform proposal of Gangsho within the clan. At that time, many people thought he was joking, but they didn't expect it to be true, and the speed of action was unexpected. In just a few days, it was heard that medical ninjas had already been received from the Uchiha tribe, stating that they had reached a cooperation intention to cultivate a new team of tacit understanding. If there is something good above, the bottom must follow it. As the first ninja tribe of Kiba, the Uchiha clan, since they highly value the reform proposal proposed by Tsunade, cannot help but make many people think and turn their attention to Uchiha, carefully observing the follow-up of the reform. Pop. It's simply unreasonable. Yuzhibo, these crazy people, actually let a 16-year-old child become the clan leader. It's a huge joke. There is also Gangsho's reform proposal, which is simply impossible to achieve. Medical ninjas are just logistics personnel with low combat effectiveness. How can they perform dangerous tasks? Yuzhibo, these crazy people are simply unreasonable. In the office of Huiying building, Xuanlai Xiaochun vigorously tapped the table and roared loudly. It was obvious that under the leadership of Yuzhibo Xingyu, the Yuzhibo clan had recently broken through the defense of this old woman. The current timeline shows that the medical department of Kiba is not led by Tsunade, but by Kiba's Hokage advisor, Koharu, who transferred to her dormitory. In her opinion, Yuzhibo's behavior was a harsh slap on her face, trampling on his dignity, so she was very angry. The three old men, monkey flying and sun slaying, Jitsuan Tuanzang, and Mito Menyen, quietly watched as Takamori Haru vented his anger. As long-time teammates, they had some rich experience in getting along with each other. In Takamori Haru's angry state, they would not speak up. Finally, Xiaochun, who had vented her anger, stopped and stared at the monkey-flying Sun Slayer, saying, "Sun Slayer, you are the Hokage, will you let Yuzhibo act recklessly?" Upon hearing this, Ape-Flying Sun said helplessly, "Xiaochun, the behavior of the Uchiha clan is reasonable and reasonable. Our cooperation with medical ninjas is also voluntary. Even if I am Hokage, there is no reason to forcibly stop it." Moreover, Ape-Flying Sun also has his own careful thinking. He is somewhat tempted by the reform proposal of his beloved disciple, but due to the current situation in the ninja world and the situation in Kiba, he cannot rashly implement it. The Uchiha clan wants to try the law with their own hands, and he is definitely happy to see it succeed. If it works, he can definitely pick up the ready-made ones. Where's Xingyu? Monkey Flying Sun asked. Xingyu came to see me once after serving as the leader of the Uchiha clan and resigned from his position as the leader of the Dark Department squad. After that, there was no movement. Do any of you know what he's doing at the Kiba Police Department? Jitsuan Tuanzang, who is most concerned about Yuzhibo, said, according to convention, the head of the Yuzhibo clan will automatically serve as the head of the police department. Uchiha Xingyu is now a genuine high-ranking member of the Kiba clan. That's it. Upon hearing the words, Monkey Flying Sun / was momentarily stunned before realizing it and couldn't help but exclaim in emotion. In the past, the position of Minister of the Kiba Police Department was held by Uchiha, who was even older than him, because Uchiha, the leader of the Uchiha clan, was always vacant. He almost forgot about this tradition since the establishment of Kiba. Of course, upon realizing it, Ape Flying Sun / also felt a bit uncomfortable in his heart. As Hokage, he is the highest leader of Konoha, but he is also 40 years old. Although he is in his prime, compared to the sudden emergence of a 16-year-old star feather, he is much older. Moreover, the power of the Kiba Police Department is immense, and the position of the minister is only under the influence of the fire shadow. It is normal for Ape Flying Sun / to have such emotions. The dignity of the elderly is shaken. Not only him, but everyone present is like this, and there is also a reason why Xiaochun, who has changed his sleep, became angry. Jealousy. Uchiha Xingyu, you are really too young. And the young Uchiha Xingyu was sitting in the office of the Kiba Police Department, with his entire head enlarged. The Kiba Police Department, as an organization established by the second-generation Hokage Kagami, is primarily responsible for maintaining public order and stability within the Kiba ninja village. At the same time, the police department can formulate laws in the village to regulate the behavior of Kiba villagers. The members of the police department are responsible for strengthening and maintaining order and security in Kiba Hidden Village. If necessary, they can also arrest civilians and ninjas with criminal tendencies and conduct interrogations. However, some of the legislative and law enforcement powers of the Kiba Police Department are disliked by the people of the Uchiha tribe, and are hostile to most of the Kiba villagers. It must be said that this is also a kind of realm. Can anyone explain it to me? Xingyu gently shook the paper in his hand and asked the Uchiha 8th generation and the tribe standing in the center of the room. Why is this commoner who threw bamboo skewers casually after eating grilled fish balls punished the same as the other two ninjas who fought? These two ninjas used ninjutsu during a private fight on the street, which seriously endangered the order of the village. The police department punished them with 30 days in prison and a fine of 100,000 taels. I can understand. But this commoner, he just finished eating the grilled fish balls and instinctively threw the bamboo skewer on the ground, and surprisingly had to accept the same punishment. Isn't that too much? Upon hearing Xingyu's questioning, Uchiha Dai looked embarrassed and held back for a while before finally exclaiming, Your Highness, this was determined by the elder when he was in charge of the police department in an instant. He drank at that time, and the commoner shouted a few words. He didn't think it counted, so. Perhaps the 8th generation of Uchiha also felt a bit excessive and couldn't help but bow their heads in shame, unable to continue speaking. Ha! Uchiha Xingyu sneered and said, Proud Uchiha, why don't you catch Jitsu and Tuanzang and bully the weak civilians? That's really so proud. Now go and personally invite this commoner over, as well as this, and these are all. Mad, even if you judge with your butt, you wouldn't make such an outrageous judgment. Please bring all these wrong people over together, yes, clan leader. A clan member responded and quickly left the room. Xingyu lightly tapped the table with his fingers and continued to search for archives. The members of the police department stood in place, their heads lowered, and they dared not venture out. There's no way, this young tribal leader is wealthy and has a good temper. He is usually gentle and polite to you, but when he gets angry, it can be terrifying. His way of punishing his clan members is different. He will fight against you in the name of sparring or guidance, until he breaks all the bones on your body before stopping. He then uses exquisite medical ninjutsu to cure it, repeating this process more than 10 times. So when they saw signs of anger from Xingyu, the members of the police department were very scared in their hearts. Not long after, the door to the office was pushed open, and the tribe just now walked into the office with a dozen or so prisoners. The others walked to the wall and made way for the middle position. A group of people squeezed in, and the originally spacious office suddenly became crowded. Starry Feather's eyelids twitched as he saw so many people, then stood up and walked to his desk. He looked at the group of convicts who had been arbitrarily convicted, most of whom were civilians, including 6 lower ninjas and 2 middle ninjas. Faced with Xingyu and a group of Uchiha people, this group shrank their shoulders and lowered their heads, looking timid and submissive, with only occasional resentment in their eyes. Upon realizing this, Xingyu couldn't help but sigh and spoke up, "Everyone, I am Yuzhibo Xingyu, currently serving as the head of the Yuzhibo clan and the head of the Kiba police department." Upon hearing this, everyone lifted their heads one after another. Even though they knew the name of Yuzhibo Xingyu's genius, they couldn't help but show a surprised expression when they saw that young and handsome face. "I don't know if the minister brought us over from prison. Is there any guidance?" said a neutral person with a blank expression. Xingyu smiled and said, "It's like this. I just took over the police department today, and when I checked the files, I found that your criminal convictions were not very appropriate. I believe you all know that the person who used to manage the police department was Yuzhibosha. He is getting older and his mind is inevitably confused. So, in the name of the Minister of Police, I declare that your crimes will be rejudged. Considering your previous misjudgment, we will not continue to punish you. We will only keep your records and you will be released without charge. Any excess fines will also be returned." Upon hearing Xingyu's words, everyone widened their eyes in surprise and looked at Xingyu. Zhongren couldn't believe it and asked, "Really? Have we been released?" "Really?" Xingyu nodded lightly and said, "In the eyes of Shangong, you knocked over someone else's stall while drunk half a month ago. According to the latest law of the police department, you are sentenced to 7 days in prison, a fine of 100,000 taels, and compensation for other people's losses. And you have already been imprisoned for half a month, and the fine is as high as an unreasonable 500,000 taels. Therefore, as compensation, this 500,000 taels will be refunded to you." Exactly. Speaking of this, Xingyu's gaze looked around and continued, "You too, unreasonable judgments will be compensated in monetary terms." Due to the vacant position of the head of the Uchiha clan, the Kiba police department was left unattended and its functions were chaotic, causing trouble for everyone. "I solemnly apologize to everyone in the name of Chief Uchiha and assure you that similar incidents will never happen again." After speaking, Yuzhibo Xingyu took a step back and bowed 45 degrees to the group of acquitted people. The Uchiha people around were ashamed and bowed 90 degrees together. Such an unimaginable behavior frightened everyone at a loss. The Zhongren quickly waved his hand and said, "Xingyu clan leader, Xingyu lord, you don't have to be like this. It's not you who misjudged us. I don't blame you. Get up quickly." "Yes, Lord Xingyu, get up quickly. We, the people who made mistakes, cannot afford your apology." The others also spoke up one after another. Yu reading www.uyukangshu.net. Xingyu straightened up and whispered again, "I'm extremely sorry." Zhongren shook his head and said, "Lord Xingyu, you don't need to apologize. You are the most dazzling genius of Kiba. I believe that under your leadership, the police department will make Kiba better. I will definitely do it." Xingyu smiled lightly and made a promise, then said, "So everyone, you can leave now." Upon hearing this, everyone's faces lit up with joy. After respectfully bowing to Xingyu, they eagerly left the office. After the last person left and closed the door, Xingyu's smile instantly narrowed and his gaze turned serious towards the tense tribe. The pride of the Uchiha clan has never been bullying the weak, and doing so will only tarnish Uchiha's reputation. I have always wondered why, as the first ninja of Konoha, Uchiha bears the responsibility of protecting the village. In theory, villagers should worship and admire Uchiha. But the facts are vastly different. The reputation of the Uchiha clan in the village is very bad. My original view, like yours, was that it was the unjustified hatred of those ignorant people. Now it seems that this is not the case. The root cause lies in the police department, which has problems with its enforcement methods. Fortunately, if discovered early, errors can be corrected in a timely manner. I will use the fastest speed to develop appropriate law enforcement regulations for the police department, and in the future, the police department will act in accordance with my regulations. Additionally, after you return, inform all members of the Uchiha clan that you can ignore the weak, but never bully or insult them. If there is a violator, I will personally let him know what cruelty is. Yes, Lord Clan Leader. Chapter 6. Reform of the Police Department. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. In the morning, at the most prominent spot on my street, a tall and spacious rectangular wooden sign stood with a piece of paper filled with words pasted on it. The passers-by stopped to check, and soon, the sign was surrounded by people on the inner and outer floors. Someone shouted out the content on the billboard loudly. The Ministry of Police apologizes to all villagers in Muye and provides a notice. Dear villagers and colleagues, prior to this, multiple factors have led to confusion in the functions of the police department, resulting in many errors. On behalf of the Ministry of Police, the newly appointed Minister Uchiha Xingyu extends his sincerest apologies to everyone. The police department apologizes to the victims and provides certain economic compensation regarding the wrongful judgment of the previous agency of the police department's affairs, Uchiha. 3 days later, the police department will jointly launch the Police Department Law Enforcement Standards and Wood Leaf Law to distribute to villagers for free, ensuring that everyone has one. Afterwards, the police department will strictly follow the guidelines of the Law Enforcement Standards and the Wood Leaf Law for law enforcement. After the release of the law enforcement norms and the Wood Leaf Law, there will be a 10-day public notice period, after which the new law will be implemented immediately. Anyone who violates the law by the villagers of Muye will be tried according to the sentencing standards in the Muye law, and the content of their violation and punishment will be publicly displayed on public notice boards. We hope that the villagers of Muye will be aware and remember this. Above, Kiba Police Department, Uchiha Xingyu Xian. As the content on the billboard was loudly repeated over and over again, the villagers of Muye were shocked and gathered together in groups of 3 to have a heated discussion. This group of people living in the military city. State of the feudal era, where they have seen this new flower activity, feel unbelievable. Can they still play like this? Uchiha Xingyu brought them a bit of advanced new era shock. Everyone knows that the people of the Uchiha clan may not have a good temper, have lofty eyes, and are paranoid and neurotic. Apart from being powerful, the only advantage is probably because pride disdains lying and deceit. So after seeing the content on the billboard, no one felt that the police department led by the Uchiha clan was deceiving people. After the notice spread in Muye, the villagers couldn't help but have expectations for the police department and the Uchiha clan. In fact, when the police department was established between the second-generation Hokage and handed over to the Uchiha clan, Uchiha's reputation in Kiba reached its peak. However, due to frequent internal conflicts within the Uchiha clan, the clan leader first affected, then was ostracized by the senior management of Kiba, and then there was an endless internal power struggle. So the affairs of the police department are too busy to be taken care of by themselves, and in most cases, they are just getting by. Law enforcement actions are vague, and the scale of punishment depends entirely on the mood of those in power. And when it comes to outsiders, Uchiha doesn't have a good mood. Therefore, the reputation of the Uchiha clan has gradually declined to the current level of being despised. On the second day after the release of the apology notice, the villagers of Kiba discovered that the police department had erected a larger public notice, which detailed who committed a crime and was wrongly convicted in a certain year or month, and how much silver should be compensated as an apology. The villagers of Muye expressed that it was really a small knife pulling their buttocks and opened their eyes. It's different, the Uchiha clan is really different. They are really changing and even apologizing to the villagers. Xingyu Jun is truly the most dazzling genius of Kiba. Sleeping in bed, no wonder today I was walking on the road when a member of the Uchiha clan suddenly appeared and gave me 100,000 taels of banknotes. I was quite puzzled at the time. It turned out to be a fine for returns and exchanges. What mistake did you make? Can you still get a refund of 100,000 taels? Hi, I got drunk and didn't wake up. I went crazy and disturbed the people. I was fined 500,000 yuan by the police department and locked up for a week. That's not a big deal. Why are we fined so much? I also burned my neighbor's tree with fire escape. Thank you quickly, I'll refund you 100,000 taels. Hey, everyone, take a look at the fourth point. The reason why Ichiro Shimamura was arrested by the police department back then was because he strengthened the wife of a wealthy businessman who came to do business. Is the sleeping trough really fake? Isn't it because he offended Yuzhibo that he was maliciously retaliated against? It must be true that the police department dares to make it public. I used to wonder why that big businessman with beautiful and affordable goods suddenly stopped coming to my. It turns out that's the situation. Take a look at the last line. Zelaya, also known as Huiying's disciple, has evaded arrest multiple times due to peeping at the women's bathhouse. The police department has issued a final notice that if Zelaya does not surrender to the police department by 5 p.m. this afternoon, they will take tough measures to arrest him. Okay. The old lady said that taking a shower in the village bathroom always gives me a feeling of being peeped at. It turns out it's not my illusion. During this period, due to the actions of the Uchiha clan and the police department, the entire wooden leaf became extremely lively, and the streets and alleys were filled with lively discussions. And the Yukibo people patrolling the streets were surprised to find that the previously disdainful eyes of the villagers had disappeared, and instead became overly enthusiastic. Even when passing by stalls, they were given free food, drinks, and fruits as gifts. Such enthusiastic behavior caught the aloof Uchiha off guard, which was an experience they had never experienced before, but they didn't dislike it either. It's better than a cold gaze full of disgust and malicious whispers. The people of the tribe are well aware that all these changes stem from the powerful and young chieftain. It has only been a long time, and the changes are so rapid and fierce. Indeed, under the leadership of the adults of the Star Feather clan, the Uchiha clan will reach unprecedented heights. The patrolling tribe members nod on the apples in their hands, firmly believing in their hearts. Yuzhibo clan land, elderly home. The spacious courtyard built with funding from Xingyu is a place specifically for the elders of the clan to handle affairs, and it has become very lively at this moment. There are not only Uchiha people in the courtyard, but also unfamiliar faces from other ethnic groups. As soon as Xingyu finished handling the affairs of the police department, he didn't even have a chance to take a sip of water, so he was called in by Elder Ujibuji to help. Fuyue, is this the medical ninja you found? Ujibo Xingyu looked at the young boy in front of him and asked. Uchiha Fuyue, who was born in 2015 by Kiba, is only 2 years younger than Xingyu. On the original timeline, he was the father of the future Uchiha clan leader, the exterminator, and the reincarnation of the chakra of Indra. However, none of this has happened yet. Uchiha Fuyue doesn't even have a lover yet. He is just an ordinary Uchiha genius who has an extremely fanatical admiration for Xingyu. Yes. Ujibo Fuyue nodded and said, Your Highness, this is Kado. I can assure you that Kado is an excellent medical ninja. Kado Kagami, who was praised by Toyotomi, chuckled with a reserved tone and said, Master Xingyu, I am not as excellent as Toyotomi Nakamura claimed. I have just mastered the cactus technique. Upon hearing this, Xingyu couldn't help but blink as he watched. This was the Versailles from there. As an A.level medical ninjutsu, the palm immortal technique can heal major wounds in 5 minutes, making even Gangsho find it difficult. As a ninja from a small ninja tribe, it is already remarkable that you can master the cactus technique. Kado Duan Shangren, who are you? Xingyu asked. Lord Huixinju, he is my younger brother. Kato Kagami answered softly and then said, "He is different from me. He is a genius in the clan and has proficiently mastered the secrets of the clan, while I only have a slight talent in medical ninjutsu." Starry Feather nodded clearly. There was indeed something about the spiritual cultivation technique of the Kato clan, and it seemed that Kato Kagami was the silent father of the small follower next to Tsunade in the original timeline. Thinking of this, Xingyu smiled and said, "You are so humble. Being able to master the cactus technique is already remarkable. Are you sure you want to sign a cooperation contract with Fuyue and form a team together?" Kato quickly nodded and said, "That's right, to be honest with Lord Xingyu, I'm actually here for money. I am getting married soon, and all the resources of my family are being poured into me. Although I have no objections, I do not want my future wife to suffer with me. The salary at Ninja Hospital is very low, and I need to pay for going out to perform tasks, but I am a ninja and not good at combat." Yu reading www.yuyukeangshu.net. The Uchiha clan needed medical ninjas, and Fuyue was my friend. After his invitation, I couldn't wait to follow him. Xingyu nodded in understanding and looked up at the unfamiliar faces of many foreign tribes. It was believed that their thoughts were similar to those of Kato Kagami. "No problem." Xingyu handed over the contract and said, "Sign your name, you are Yuzhibo's partner and Fuyue's teammate. However, I would like to remind you that in the future, you need to train in the territory of Uchiha to enhance your strength, while also cultivating a tacit understanding with Fuyue. Only after passing the assessment can we carry out the task together with Fuyue. You can rest assured that the auxiliary equipment and medication required for training will be provided by the Yuzhibo family, but only the third phase of funding will be provided. If you don't have the strength to meet the standards, you will need to rely on interest-free loans for the subsequent expenses." Kato signed his name without hesitation and said solemnly, "Lord Xingyu, these wealthy people have told me in advance, and I am well prepared. To be honest, it is my honor and a good thing that many people envy to receive the guidance of powerful aristocrats. I have never been more fortunate than I am today to have the talent for medical ninjutsu and be able to become a medical ninja. That's good." Xingyu smiled contentedly and patted Fuyue's shoulder, encouraging him, "Fuyue, thank you for supporting my reform. Keep going. You are a genius in your tribe, and I will keep an eye on you. Including your two unruly sons in the future." "Yes, Lord Xingyu." Yuzhibo Fuyue straightened his chest and shouted with full fighting spirit, "I will definitely not disappoint your expectations, clan leader." Chapter 7. Punishments. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Regarding the proposed plan by Gangsho, it was only a pilot reform within Yuzhibo, and Xingyu clearly stated at the clan meeting that it was a voluntary action and not a forced one. But like Yuzhibo Fuyue, most Yuzhibo people are very conscious and actively seek suitable medical ninjas to form new teams. Not long after, there were not enough medical ninjas available at the ninja hospital. The number of ninjas was really too small. As a large military institution with over 80% of the population being ninjas, Kiba has exceptional physical fitness and does not have any minor illnesses or disasters. But ninjas are also an extremely dangerous profession, and once something happens, it is a life-threatening matter that cannot be solved by ordinary medical ninjas, and can only be left to fate. Looking at the entire ninja world, medical ninjas are a newly emerging profession that requires high talent, high investment, and slow effectiveness. The number of medical ninjas is very rare. So medical ninjas are a niche profession, and compared to ordinary ninjas, they are not very popular among the public. Due to the reforms during the reign of the second-generation Hokage Kazuma, Kiba had the largest number of medical ninjas in the ninja world. However, looking at the entire medical department of Kiba, the number of medical ninjas could also exceed 3 digits. So, in the ninja hospital of Kiba, any medical ninja who was proficient in medical ninjutsu became the target of competition among the Uchiha people, even willing to turn their backs and fight for it. Not only medical ninjas, but even ordinary ninjas who are only proficient in medical ninjutsu have become the targets of contact and competition among the Uchiha people. As medical ninjas who are highly valued by the Uchiha people, they also feel very happy. As long as one has good medical skills and is proficient in using medical ninjutsu, after passing the preliminary review within the Uchiha clan and signing a contract, they will become the target of Uchiha's training, and can receive a considerable amount of training funds, even the guidance of Uchiha's strong individuals. Being able to be taught for free by the strong members of the first ninja tribe in the Wood Leaf is a beautiful thing that many people can hope for but cannot seek, let alone repay money. As Kato said, as a logistics personnel with low strength and status, they are unable to perform dangerous high-level tasks and rely solely on the salary of the ninja hospital, resulting in relatively low income. They had never imagined it to be like this before, grateful for their talent in medical ninjutsu and being able to become a medical ninja. While searching for medical ninjas outside the clan, the Uchiha clan has not forgotten to cultivate medical ninjas internally. However, due to the innate nature of the Uchiha clan, who are suitable for learning medical ninjutsu, there are only 2 or 3 kittens, and the progress is not very ideal. Under the guidance of Xingyu, the Uchiha clan and the police department are carrying out large-scale reforms in full swing. The first ones who cannot sit still are the old folks from Huiying building. The Huiying office was shrouded in smoke, and the monkey-flying sun was constantly wrapped around the smoke pole. Looking at the report presented in the dark, his brows furrowed. Ri-Zhan, this won't work. Ujibo's reputation in the village is getting higher and higher. Isn't this a good phenomenon? Jitsuan Tuan said with a pitiful expression, feeling very embarrassed. He originally thought that the Uchiha clan and fools had lost their heads, making the 16-year-old boy the clan leader. It was simply an unreasonable group of lunatics, and he secretly rejoiced over it. However, to everyone's surprise, after Uchiha Xingyu ascended to power, in just over 10 days, the Uchiha clan underwent earth-shattering changes, one day at a time, all of which were stable and positive changes. Now he is walking on the Wooden Leaf group, listening to the villagers praising Uchiha Xingyu and the Uchiha clan, which is even more painful than killing him. Yao Shou, is this still the evil Uchiha? Monkey Flying Sun said in a muffled voice, I know your worries, but what can I do? Should I decide on the reform of the police department or dismiss Xingyu as the clan leader? Jitsuan Tuan choked on Tibetan, of course he knew it was impossible. The former, the police department is handed over to the Uchiha clan by the second generation Hokage, and is the only authority of Uchiha in Kiba. If you do not let the Uchiha clan leader serve as the minister today, Uchiha will dare to have an armed coup tomorrow. Moreover, the current reform of the police department, whether it is the law enforcement norms, or the Wood Leaf law, is truly beneficial to the village and is truly striving to improve the Wood Leaf. The latter is even more unlikely. It is the internal decision of Uchiha Xingyu to become the clan leader. Even if he is Hokage, he has no right to interfere in the internal affairs of the ninja clan without harming Konoha. Seeing the silence of Tuanzang, Ape Flying Sun Zhan continued, you have also read the law enforcement norms and Wood Leaf law issued by the police department, especially the Wood Leaf law which clearly records the sentencing standards for crimes, from treason and espionage to civilian fighting and littering, all of which are clearly formulated. Neither you nor I can pick a fault, so we had to pass by pinching our noses. Even if it doesn't pass, the police department has the legislative power granted by the second generation Hokage, and they can completely ignore me playing Hokage on their own. Tuanzang, you should know that's Uchiha. When the teacher was still around, they dared to arm the Uchiha clan for a coup. Ape Flying Sun / also felt uncomfortable in his heart. He had never missed the time when the Uchiha clan fought against each other and their strength was depleted due to internal conflicts and power struggles. At that time, I was a bit annoyed, but it didn't threaten his position as the Hokage. Like now, the united Uchiha, just from the beginning, the energy that erupted made everyone look down on him. Not only the monkey flying sun slash and Jitsuan Tuanzang, but also the current momentum of Uchiha reminds all the elderly who have experienced the establishment of might from the depths of their memory of the powerful ninja tribe who once fought against the Thousand-Hand clan for thousands of years, but ultimately joined hands to create my hidden village. The leaves of my are the fan leaves in the shape of the emblem of the Uchiha clan's Tuan Fan clan. No way. Jitsuan Tuan, with red eyes, looked like a gambler who had lost all his family in Swoha. He shouted in a low voice. I don't believe that the evil Uchiha will make the village better. This is definitely just a superficial phenomenon, and he must be plotting something behind his back. Ri-Zhan, we can no longer sit and wait. We must unite with the major ninja tribes as soon as possible and take tough measures against Uchiha. Let these crazy people know that Kiba is not their Kiba. Monkey Flying Sun / looked at his old teammate speechlessly. After all I've said just now, are you even considered farting? Do you think the Uchiha clan is an ordinary ninja like the Jitsuan clan? When the teacher is still present, only gentle and soothing policies can be used. All the major ninja tribes. Stop joking, do you think they can obey my orders and fight against a group of red-eyed people? Moreover, Yuzhibo also has a pair of half-kaleidoscope riding wheel eyes. Tuanzang, why don't you calm down for now? Yuzhibo is not important at the moment, what's important is the border conflict. Shine Village and Yuran Village have been getting more and more arrogant lately, said Monkey Flying Sun slaying, if you want to exclude first, you must exclude first. Jitsuan Tuanzang stubbornly adhered to his own will and said to himself, to cut the sun, we must first confront Fu Yuzhibo. Give up, Tuanzang. I won't agree. Ri-Zhan. You will regret it. Tuanzang, I am the Hokage. Damn it, I don't have that much money. When the Huiying office was arguing, the Kiba police department, Zilai, also sat on the trial chair, with a face full of dissatisfaction and a hot temper, shouting loudly. He was extremely embarrassed and angry at the moment. Yuzhibo and his group of bastards not only wrote down his shameless habit on a public notice, letting the whole village know, but also forcibly took him to the police department and punished him with a hefty fine. The warning from the police department on the bulletin board that he should surrender himself was not taken seriously. He was planning to go to a roadside stall with Tsunade and Orochimaru for a drink when suddenly a group of black-clad people descended from the sky, tightly surrounding him in the middle. Is it just a small matter that is so inspiring? Damn Yuzhibo, he must be targeting our Hokage series. I am using materials, do you understand? As a writer, I need more materials to inspire my creative inspiration. Zilai also blushed and glared angrily at Uchiha Xingyu, loudly defending himself. Xingyu stared expressionlessly at Zelaya, and capturing Zelaya was not his intention. If possible, he didn't really want to have contact with people from the Hokage clan at the moment. The main issue is that the police department has indeed received many anonymous complaints, which existed before Xingyu took over the police department. Many of them even come with photos attached, and Zilai is lying outside the bathroom with a lewd expression on his face. The evidence is conclusive. In order to demonstrate the fairness of the police department's reform to the public, Xingyu ordered without hesitation. He first issued a warning to Zelaya, and after the warning was ineffective, he directly ordered someone to be arrested. Considering Zelaya's personality and status, he would not willingly accept arrest. In addition, he himself possesses the strength of an elite Ueno clan, and the police department has specially dispatched 12 Ueno clan members, all of whom are the 3 Gyu Sharingan. In such a battle, coupled with his famous apprenticeship, even with the presence of Gangsho and Orochimaru, he could only obediently surrender himself. The honest members of the police department came to the Kiba police department. Peeping into the bathroom is not a heinous crime, but I really can't understand you, and I have been enduring it since then. Xingyu's tone was as cold and ruthless as his gaze. Since then, I have been enduring it. I am not seeking revenge for personal gain, but after the reform of the police department, the anonymous complaints about your voyeurism received are not just 1 or 2, but in double digits, and even many of the complaint letters are accompanied by photos. I don't object to you wanting to take samples, but why do you have to be in the village? It's so big outside the village, I don't believe you can't find a place for you to take samples. My village is not big. Those who go to the bathroom to wash are all their own people. Maybe they will be sisters, wives, or even mothers of a partner who works with you. Your behavior is really despicable. Peeping at the family members of female relatives in the same village, doesn't it have any shame or guilt? A fine of 1 million taels, along with a public apology and a promise not to repeat the crime, I have been enduring it since then. I am not discussing with you, but you must do so. Otherwise, even if you are Huiying's disciple, I will not let you step out of the prison of the police department. Zelaya's cheeks flushed as if dripping blood, not knowing whether it was due to shame or anger. Gangsho and Orochimaru, who were standing on the side, originally followed because they were worried about their teammates, but after hearing Xingyu's words, Yu Shushu and Uchiha.Net both silently lowered their heads. Especially Gangsho, blushing with shame, wished he could immediately penetrate into the crevices on the floor. She is aware of Zelaya's addiction and has occasionally seen Zelaya commit crimes. Although she has taught Zelaya a lesson, she has not taken it to heart and believes that this is only a minor flaw of Zelaya, which has not caused harm to the village. After all, due to years of teammate relationships, her stance leans towards Jiraiya. To this day, Xingyu mercilessly exposed the negative impact of Zelaya's behavior, and only then did she suddenly realize that she had to take it seriously. Yes, the object of my peeping is the female family members of the ninjas who have gone through life and death in the village. No one wants his mother, wife or sister's body to be peeped by a wretched man. The blushing Zilai was also deeply conflicted in his heart, and finally gritted his teeth and said, I understand. I will pay a fine, and I will publicly apologize and promise not to repeat it. Good. Xingyu nodded calmly. In fact, it was not important whether Zilai agreed or not. The evidence was conclusive, and he was not worried that Zilai would also play a rogue role. Today is the day when the monkey-flying sun beheaded Zilai, and he must also punish Zilai. For you Xingyu, the punishment of Zelaya was a win-win situation, which not only established the correctness of law enforcement by the police department in the hearts of the people of Kiba, but also secretly undermined the reputation of the Hokage faction. Sure enough, after seeing the punishment results of Zelaya, as well as the apology and guarantee letters on the public notice board, the villagers of Muye have developed an immense trust in the reformed police department. After all, even the elite can tolerate it, and the police department can enforce the law impartially and publicly disclose it to the public after the disciples of Hokage make mistakes. They no longer have to worry that the police department will bend the law for personal gain and randomly arrest people like before. Chapter 8. Antlers Family. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. Huiying Building. In the office, Ape Flying Sun John sat at his desk, looking helplessly at the 3 silent lovers in front of him with their heads down, especially Zelaya, who looked listless and dejected. Before he could think of a way to effectively balance Uchiha and the police department, he was hit head-on in this direction. Monkey Flying Sun Slayer doesn't think there's any problem with his little fetish, even with himself. But this kind of thing can't be put on the table. He never expected that Xingyu's attitude towards reforming the police department would be so tough. He was at least an elite member of the Konoha clan, and even his beloved disciple, who didn't show any mercy. He wanted to comfort Zelaya, but couldn't find a suitable angle for a moment. After thinking for a moment, he had to speak up and say, Rain Country's recent actions have been a bit excessive. Zelaya, you can go and take a look. Gangsho and Orochimaru are also following suit. The best solution at the moment is to spend Zelaya in my village, and wait for the police department to remove the public notice in 7 days. The impact of this matter will fade before returning. Zilai nodded lightly and said weakly, I know, old man. He also wants to leave as soon as possible. After all, the way people in the village have been looking at him lately has made him feel uncomfortable, especially those comrades who used to fight side by side. He is not a person who knows right from wrong. In his heart, besides shame and regret, there is also regret. Upon careful consideration, I found what Xingyu said to be reasonable. Yes, you can't peek at the women's bathhouse. Why do I have to stay in my? Zilai didn't blame Xingyu either. He just wanted to leave Kiba for a while and calm down, so he agreed to the task of sending him out to carry out the ape flying sun / without even thinking about it. Old man, if it's just reconnaissance intelligence, I won't go. There have been a lot of things going on at the ninja hospital lately, and I need to sort them out carefully, said Gangsho, shaking his head and refusing. Although Gungate's reform proposal was rejected by the senior management of Kiba during the upper ninja conference, it unexpectedly ignited her inner fighting spirit. In addition, with the suggestion of Xingyu, the Uchiha clan was actively piloting her reform proposal. She believed that she could not fall behind too much, so she resolutely took over the medical department and ninja hospital. With the reputation of Gangsho in Kiba, she just wanted to be the Hokage. With a shout of arms, there were also many supporters. It is an easy task to request the medical department and ninja hospital, which are peripheral power institutions, from the senior management of Kiba. Upon hearing that Gangsho did not leave, Zilai also felt somewhat disappointed and looked eagerly at Orochimaru. Orochimaru didn't want to go either. He had a small experiment in his hand that was about to achieve breakthrough results, but facing the expectations of his close friend, Orochimaru could only sigh lightly and speak. Idiot, put away your nauseating gaze, let me go with you. Hee hee. Zilea's emotions finally picked up a bit, revealing a silly smile of joy. The three of them bid farewell to the monkey flying sun / and left the Hokage office. As soon as they came out, Zilai also looked at Gangsho and asked with some contentment, Gangsho, are you really not going? Let's just go and relax. Gangsho rolled his eyes and couldn't help but say, I'm not as idle as you are. I really have something to do. There's also an idiot coming from here. The situation in the ninja realm is becoming increasingly tense, so you need to take your reconnaissance and intelligence tasks seriously. Don't have a mentality of playing around. Take good care of him, Orochimaru. Tisk. Zilai pouted impatiently, and Orochimaru nodded and said, Don't worry, I have a plan. After speaking, the three of them parted ways in two different directions. Yuzhibo clan land, Xingyu courtyard. Master Xingyu. A man in his 20s with a deer antler emblem tattooed on the back of his robe knelt down respectfully across from Xingyu. Xingyu raised his lips and said with a smile, It's brother Xingyu. You actually led the team yourself. It's really hard on you. The person in front of me is named Antlers Starlight, the Minister of Finance of the Fire Kingdom, the current head of the Antlers family, and also the biological elder brother of Star Feather's apparent identity. Yes, Lord Xingyu, I have brought you 300 million taels and a large amount of herbs this time. After all, the border situation around the Fire Kingdom is very tense at the moment, and war may break out at any time. I hope I can help you. The attitude of Antlers Starlight is serious and respectful, without any arrogance because he is the youngest and most noble nobleman in the Fire Kingdom. His understanding is very clear. Everything he can have now, whether it is the position of the head of the family or the strength of his own ninja, is entirely thanks to the support of this genius younger brother who is the same father and mother as him and amazed the entire ninja world. Due to the marriage of the previous generation, the blood of Uchiha also flowed through the body of Antlers Starlight. Although his talent was not high, he was more than enough to become a ninja. After joining Konoha, Xingyu was not stingy and generously gave him chakra extraction and some low-level ninjutsu. And after becoming a ninja, Antlers Starlight, who came from a powerful family, only then did he realize how weak and unattainable the so-called samurai was in the eyes of ninjas. It is even clearer to realize how far away Xingyu's talent and strength are. Of course, he is not jealous of Xingyu, but rather has a genuine fanatical worship from the bottom of his heart. After all, with the support of Xingyu, the dear Antler family, which he came to power with, has completely disregarded the daimyo and become the largest powerful figure in the Fire Kingdom. In this way, the wealth of the entire Fire Country is distributed entirely by the Antlers family, with 10% deceiving the daimyo and 10% deceiving the wooden leaves. The remaining 80% belongs to the Antlers family, and the benefits are distributed by the Antlers family. As for those who oppose dissatisfaction, they have already gone to the pure land of bliss to meet the 6 immortals. Brother, I've said it many times. You can just call me by name. We're brothers, and this is really unfair. Although his identity is fake, Xingyu doesn't mind showing respect to his nominal elder brother in front of him for his interests. Xingyu's words made the dear Antler Xingyu's face show a brilliant smile, and he said happily, I understand, Xingyu. Don't worry, with me around, everything in Daming Mansion is stable and under control. Daming is addicted to pleasure, and all affairs are under the control of Xingxi. The imperial heir is also growing up healthy. Dear Horn Star Creek is the twin sister of Dear Horn Star Yao, who also married into the daimyo family and successfully gave birth to a male child. It was early confirmed that the next daimyo successor in the Fire Kingdom would be the Dear Horn Star Creek. It is worth mentioning that the current daimyo has the bloodline of a thousand-handed clan. Although he has not become a ninja, his physique is very good, and he is even older than the monkey flying sun slash, so he usually plays very exciting. After giving birth to a male child, Dear Horn Star Creek devoted his energy to his son and no longer cared about daimyo's private life, living together as if they were guests. Upon hearing this, Xingyu nodded lightly and said, Stability is good, but brother, don't take it lightly and let the family's dark guards observe more in the dark. Don't underestimate the pursuit of interests by those powerful individuals. It's just a common suggestion and may not be able to maintain stability for too long. Well, I'll pay attention, said the dear Antler Star with a somewhat regretful expression. It would be great if we could use illusion to control them all. Upon hearing this, Xingyu chuckled and said, Brother, your ideas are too fanciful. There are not only the Uchiha clan in the world who are ninjas, so they rashly use illusion to forcibly control them. Although it works quickly, the risk is even greater. If there is an unexpected situation that is discovered by other ninjas, even the Uchiha clan will find it difficult to solve the consequences, so it is better not to take risks. So for obedient dignitaries, it is safer to give simple psychological suggestions. You should comfort them with more benefits in your daily life. If you don't listen anymore, accidents will always happen in the world, right? You're right. For the stability of the family, safety is the most important thing. Dear Antler Starlight nodded in disbelief, then his expression became serious. He recalled, when you said that, I remember. Recently, some of the high-ranking officials have been acting a bit dishonestly, and they are not very satisfied with the distribution of the dear Antlers family. It is very likely that they have a big heart. It's a normal phenomenon, where interests test people's hearts the most. Xingyu nodded and then turned to look at dear Antlers Qingxue, who was kneeling at the door without saying a word, and said, Qingxue, could you please go and call me Wuyan and Badai? Yes, Lord Xingyu. Dear Antlers and Clear Snow respectfully responded, then stood up and quickly left. Dear Antlers Starlight looked at her back and raised his eyebrows, unable to express himself. This little brat has no manners at all. Since I arrived, he hasn't even said hello. At least I'm also his older brother. Qingxue has such a temperament. Brother, please bear with her a little longer, Xingyu advised with a light smile. Dear Horn Star Yao gently shook his head and said, I won't argue with him. It is a great honor for him to be the illegitimate son of a lowly geisha to have the privilege of serving you. Upon hearing the words, Xingyu smiled but remained silent. Although Lujiao Qingxue was the younger sister of Lujiao Xingyao, who shared the same father and mother, only Xingyu currently knew the truth. Dear Antlers Starlight has always regarded her as a lucky concubine who was adopted by her legitimate mother since birth. Xingyu calmly changed the topic and said, "Brother, have all the business I entrusted to you been going smoothly?" Upon hearing this, Antlers Starlight nodded repeatedly and said, "Everything went smoothly. As you said, the skilled craftsmen of the Fire Kingdom were all under the control of the Antlers family. The businesses you mentioned have also been gradually realized over the years, and currently the best-selling ones are bicycles. Even merchants from other countries have come to inquire about purchasing. There is also an electric vehicle, which has achieved technological breakthroughs and successfully converted electrical energy into power. It is expected to be developed next month. The think tank is also preparing a road repair plan to be paired with the electric vehicle, and has already prepared the route from Damingfu to Muye. And there are also train and rail plans health product series insurance. It's not easy to handle. And this. Dear Antlers and Star Radiance rely on the imagination of star feathers behind them to calculate the possibility of implementation. Some are okay, some are not. It works very well, it doesn't work very well. Like manga and anime, the technological level of Hokage world is very abnormal. The reason for this phenomenon is probably due to the feudal social system and the existence of ninjas, which has led to war being the eternal theme of this world for thousands of years. Everything must serve ninjas and the powerful. So technology trees are all biased towards lifestyle, such as the wires and cables currently laid, which only supply power to small devices such as lamps, refrigerators, and outdated computers. As for high-tech devices such as phones and cars, reading www.uyukangshu.net firearms are just old rope guns. Ninjas' psychic skills, legs, and ninjutsu fully meet previous needs, so there is no need to develop similar technologies. Ninjas rely on psychic ninjutsu for communication and rely entirely on sprinting on their legs for travel. As for civilians, why care about them? In this world, on the surface, the status of national elites is the highest. And ninjas belong to a small group due to their small population, so they occupy the second place. In the end, the status of civilians is the lowest in any world. At least Xingyu comes from a more technologically advanced world, now with power, and platforms, relying on the memories of his past life to write a large number of feasible projects, and then hand them over to Antlers Xingyu for execution. The vast majority of these projects are profitable, such as bicycles, ninjas, and ordinary nobles who may not be interested, but they are popular among the common people as they are more convenient means of transportation. In addition, there are also catering, health medicines, clothing raw materials, industrial technology, entertainment industry, and so on. As long as it is achievable, it is thriving under the leadership of Antlers and Stars. Currently, business is spread throughout the Fire Country, and it is only a matter of time before going abroad. As for projects like bicycles with little technical content, will anyone imitate this? Laugh to death, this is the world of ninja supremacy in Hokage. Among the 5 major powers, the other 4 countries dare not say it, only talking about the Fire Country. Regardless of the project, relying on the Antlers family of the Uchiha clan can achieve complete monopoly, and counterfeiters only have a dead end. As for the imitators in the other 4 major countries, they are only some adventurous small nobles, and the big nobles do not have the courage to tear their faces and offend the Uchiha clan. Chapter 9. Temporary Tasks. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Dear Antlers Starlight only stayed in Kiba village for one night, and the next morning he bid farewell to Starfeather and hurriedly set off with his team. As the family of the top powerful family in the Fire Kingdom, he has many things waiting for him to handle. Of course, the priority of these affairs will be lowered by 1 level compared to Starfeather. Along with Antlers Staryao, there were also 2 members of the Uchiha clan, Uchiha 8th generation and Uchiha Wuyen, who were tasked with helping Antlers Staryao solve some disobedient aristocratic families. Whether it is hypnotic psychological suggestion or creating accidents in the dark, it is important to avoid being discovered, which may cause unnecessary trouble to the star feathers that have not yet fully developed. Therefore, those who need to perform tasks are bold and meticulous. Uchiha and Uchiha are both Uchiha super ninjas, making them suitable candidates. Meanwhile, the Huiying building. Has the dear Antler family left Kiba? Ape Flying Sun sat at his desk and asked the half-kneeling members in the dark. The dark ninja respectfully replied, "Report to Lord Hokage, the target has just left Kiba." "Well, please step back." The monkey Flying Sun swung his hand gently towards the dark ninja, and the expression under his hat was very complex, joyful, but also a bit irritable. Fortunately, with the arrival of the dear Antler star, the apparent mission is to represent the daimyo prefecture in transporting military funds and supplies to Muye, and receiving the money naturally brings joy. It is frustrating that as the Chancellor of the Fire Kingdom, Antlers Starlight will privately give the same amount of money to Uchiha Starfeather, or even more, in the name of the Antlers family, as much as the money given to Kiba. In recent years, he has witnessed with his own eyes the great Sabi behavior of Xingyu within the Uchiha tribe, and his heart is filled with envy. Yufei Rigian sincerely felt that the welfare system established by Xingyu for the Uchiha clan was very good and worth promoting throughout the entire Kiba, but unfortunately, he had no money. The daimyo prefecture of the Fire Kingdom allocates the most funds to Konoha every year, which is the highest in the entire ninja world. However, it is only enough to cover Konoha's expenses and cannot carry out large-scale reforms. The high-ranking officials of Muye also wanted more, and it was not wartime at this time. It was somewhat impolite to rashly ask the daimyo mansion for more money. After pondering for a moment, Ape Flying Sun pointed at the table and called for the dark ninja to command, "Go and invite Uchiha Xingyu to meet me." "Yes, Lord Huiying." The dark ninja disappeared in an instant. Not long after, someone lightly tapped on the office door 3 times from outside, and Xingyu pushed the door in, wondering, "Lord Huiying, are you looking for me?" With a gentle and approachable smile on his old face under the hat of the monkey Flying Sun, he spoke, "Xingyu clan leader, Muye has an important task that requires you." "Lord Huiying, please give me your orders." Xingyu's expression remained unchanged as he watched the monkey Flying Sun looking forward to his follow-up. Ape Flying Sun pondered in his heart and spoke, "Captain Xingyu, as you know, conflicts have become increasingly frequent in border areas and small countries bordering the Fire Country, Wind Country, and Rain Country. Most of Kiba's main forces have gone to the front line to prepare for emergencies. However, today I received a message from a spy stationed in Yunin Village that in recent days, Yunin Village and Wuyin Village have been plotting a major operation along the southeast coast. Kiba won't have any spare combat power for a moment. I want you to lead a team to investigate and destroy the conspiracy of the 2 major ninja villages, Yunwu." Upon hearing this, Xingyu blinked his eyes and nodded without hesitation, saying, "No problem, Lord Huiying. Let me handle this matter, and I can lead the team. The main force will be the members of the Azibo tribe, but Lord Huiying will also give some elites." "Of course, not a problem." Seeing Xingyu nodded in agreement so easily, Ape Flying Sun Slayer breathed a sigh of relief and immediately said happily, "In addition to giving you some elite ninjas, I will also let Gangso go with you. She is proficient in medical ninjutsu and will definitely be able to help you." "Thank you, Lord Huiying. Then I will prepare to go down." Go ahead and I'll also have someone notify Gangso." The worries were resolved, and Monkey Flying Sun Slayer was in a good mood. He was also worried that after Xingyu ascended to power, Yuzhibo would be as unwilling to cooperate with Hokage's orders as before. Unexpectedly, everything went smoothly. Xingyu returned to the Uchiha clan territory and immediately ordered someone to notify the elders of the clan and the leisure elite members to gather at the Nanha shrine. Not long after, elders and clan members rushed over one after another, and Xingyu didn't leave a trace. He said that he had received a mission from Huiying and needed a large amount of elite combat power. As soon as these words were spoken, the people of the Uchiha tribe immediately lit up their eyes and offered their hearts to the clan leader. They eagerly signed up to fight. Even Captain Yuji Bonaka stood up and said, "Captain Xingyu, I will go with you. This time we will face 2 major ninja villages, with 1 more point of combat power and 1 more chance of victory." Okay. Xingyu immediately nodded in agreement. Although Yuji Bonaka was old, he was at least the highest combat power among the Yuji Bonaka clan, with a complete pair of kaleidoscope riding will eyes. After gathering all the troops, Xingyu waved his hand and said in a loud voice, "This operation focuses on tasks and training is secondary. Bring all the medical ninjas who have signed contracts with the clan, and form a team of 4. Each team must have 1 medical ninja to verify the effectiveness of the team reform. At the same time, please rest assured that if the composition of the new team is not effective on the battlefield, I will promptly stop and reorganize the medical ninjas into logistics. So, the tribe members who were just listed by me on the battle list can now go back and prepare. They will gather at the Wooden Leaf Gate in 30 minutes. Yes, Lord Clan Leader." The soldiers responded in unison, high-pitched, and then disappeared in an instant, ready to go back. Xingyu turned around and said solemnly, "Elder Zhili, in an instant, when I am not here, I will entrust the logistic supply and family affairs to both of you." Ujibuji smiled gently and said, "Don't worry, clan leader. With me around, just dance on the battlefield to your heart's content." Elder Uchiha, who was standing beside him, said with a serious expression, "Patriarch, we must lead our people to fight against Uchiha's momentum and declare to the whole world that we, Uchiha, are invincible." Xingyu raised his lips and confidently said, "Don't worry, I never give in to enemies." 30 minutes later, in the open space outside the Wooden Leaf Gate, Xingyu and Gangsho stood shoulder to shoulder on the makeshift wooden platform with solemn expressions, carefully examining the neatly arranged Konoha ninjas in front of them. Led by the Uchiha tribe, there are a total of 1,000 ninjas, and the weakest is also the elite combat power in Nakano. Starry Feather took a deep breath, and her pupils suddenly turned blood red. 3 of the hooked jade slowly rotated and shouted sternly. "Yuzibo people, Yu reading www.uyukangshu.net, open your eyes, search." At the next moment, the Uchiha clan members began to slowly turn around, with over 100 pairs of red pupils flashing, coldly sweeping over all the ninjas on this mission. 3 seconds later, when no members of the clan reported any abnormal situations, Xingyu waved his hand and said, "I will secretly convey the content of this mission to everyone. Now listen to my instructions, everyone is silent, and we can set off. Our target is the East China Sea border." Brush. 1,000 ninjas disappeared in an instant, the white mist dispersed, and their vision became incredibly vast. Xingyu looked at Gangsho and said, "Let's set off too, Gangsho is enduring." Gangsho Shin gazed at Xingyu with emotion. She was originally planning a new reform system in the office of Ninja Hospital, but suddenly was pulled out by people sent by the Monkey Flying Sun, claiming it was an urgent and important task. Just after the gathering, I witnessed a series of instructions from Xingyu. To be honest, I was also watched by more than 100 pairs of riding will eyes. Not to mention Goyu's proficiency, at that moment alone, the strong sense of pressure caused Gangsho's breathing to pause for a moment. Even the first ninja tribe in the ninja world, is full of sharpness and sharpness. At this moment, the little princess of the Qianshou family was filled with complexity, and sour water was about to overflow from her throat. Since the establishment of Kiba, the Uchiha clan has been colorful, from the defection of clan leaders to armed coups, from endless internal power struggles to the current genius clan leader who is only 16 years old. Despite this, the overall strength of Yuzibo is still formidable and chilling. However, what has become of the 1,000-armed clan, who once fought head-on and shoulder to shoulder with Uchiha? Haha, the little princess of the Qianshou family suppressed her chaotic thoughts, took a deep breath, and said in a deep voice, "Let's go."